Hey everybody, and welcome to my closing thoughts for the Darkest Dungeon LP. Man, this is a kind of a big project, and even though we're finally done with it, we've beaten everything. We've gone 61 episodes, god damn it. 61 episodes with doing absolutely everything the game has to offer so far. There are still many nagging questions, many inquiries, and a couple thoughts I do kind of want to get out of my head before I continue on with the rest of the LP, because I still have like one or two things I want to do. First off, let's start with frequently asked questions, the one that's often asked as both a gag and a legitimate question. When quad dog? Quad dog will happen when I can unwind my fucking brain, because even after... Oh shit, when did we record the last episode? Or at least at like May 17th, so we finished it at the early end of March, and even then I still feel like I just kind of don't want to touch that game for a while. So quad dog will happen when I get off my lazy ass and, you know, eventually muster up the resolve to do it. It will happen, it's just going to take a while to get there because I gotta A, start a new file, and B, get 4 dogs, which is kind of tough with the new, they have a new spawn logic for heroes in Darkest Dungeon called deck stacking. They try to make it so where you have a fair and balanced spawn pool for when you, play. While this does make it easier to get important things like Vestals, it also makes it hard to imbalance things by getting 4 dogs, so that's... I'm gonna have to make a file that doesn't have deck stacking as well, which is gonna be goofy. Second question, are you going to do Crimson Court? The short answer is, I don't know. The long answer is, yes, I would love to. However, I don't know if I could add it as part of the quote-unquote LP without it feeling like a weird addition, because according to statements released by Red Hook and also stuff said on Bo Ross's stream, Crimson Court is definitely an expansion to the game. It's going to add stuff to the game, namely heroes, accessories, and a new zone and new enemies. The only issue is, in terms of adding it to the LP, what that would involve me doing is just saying, okay, here's a video of the boss, the mid-boss, and the new class. Because really, that's all it's gonna add. You're gonna have one single zone, you're gonna have... I think they only said 1 actual boss for that area, not 2, 1. And then you have the mid-boss, which is the, Inquisitor. That's pretty much all you're gonna get. So, if I do expand on the Darkest Dungeon LP posthumously, it's going to be 1 to 2 episodes at best summarizing what's going on here. So, it won't add much to the LP, but I definitely would like to cover it a little bit. And this is not really a question, but it does kind of pertain to something that people always bring up. The amount of luck I had during the LP was indeed astronomical. There are so many instances in that game, especially near the end, that should not have happened, and it kind of gives a distorted image of what the game is like. Let me get a drink here real quick. And I'll agree with you all. I did have extremely obnoxious luck right up until the end, because, a little bit of a secret, the very fact that the Darkest Dungeon LP was a stroke of luck to begin with, because before the LP started, I struggled forever to get OBS to work with Darkest Dungeon, and it just would not work. And then one day, I don't know if it was an OBS update or a Darkest Dungeon update, but it just started working no matter what. Like, no scaling issues, no lag on full screen, it just started working. And that's why I thought, okay, I gotta capitalize on this now while it still works. And, oh, fucking how long did we LP this? Like 8-10 months? For that while it worked. And then, the really weird part is that the moment I finished the LP, that very same glitch came back, where OBS would either bring the frame rate of Darkest Dungeon down to like 10 if I ever played it full screen, or if I played it window, the scaling would go all out of whack. So, the very fact that this LP existed was a straight-up miracle of programming anomalies. That and just a bunch of random shit. There was a lot of luck there. A lot of it was mainly subverting things, but there were many instances where I should not have succeeded, and it is definitely a distorted image, but I also think it helped the LP because you won't have to see me deal with the grind. We didn't have delays in the LP due to having to train a new person from level 0, which is a blessing. And to wit, I probably should have waited until Radiant mode to do the LP, just because of it making it a lot shorter. But I digress, so I'll just say, everybody who proclaims me luckers, you're not wrong. There's so much luck involved in this LP that it's kind of ridiculous. Now on some of the more heavier shit with this LP. One thing I do kind of want to get off my chest is just my mindset throughout this whole LP. I forget who said it. I can't remember if it was like Slow Beef or Chip or whoever. But someone in SALP once said that LP should be a hobby. You should never be dependent on it. It should never be your main source of income or stress. You should do it because you love the game and want to show other people your fascination for the game. And I still love Darkest Dungeon, don't get me wrong. I love that game to death. I love the philosophy, I love all the intricate mechanics with it, I love the atmosphere. But somewhere along the line, I want to say episode 20, 25, a combination with just how huge this game was, in tandem with my 2 update a week schedule, and me being a complete fucking idiot and doing 2 other LPs in tandem with this. I hate to say it, but the Darkest Dungeon LP became a job. I had to work up the muster to record episodes, edit them, get Chitlin roused up and get him to record. Like, the very fact that this started feeling like a job is why I started doing different things during the LP. It's why early on I started trying to mod it and make it more entertaining. It's why I started bringing co-hosts. It's why I brought the Full Spectrum Warrior crew. Chitlin and me just wanted to mix things up and make it interesting again, because that game, had I not done editing at the champion mode, and I really should have done it in veteran mode, that would have been a 90 episode LP, which would have been 45 straight weeks of doing this, and I just can't handle that. So yeah, that explains a lot of the weird gonzo bullshit that happened during the LP. The sheer work schedule that we had involved with this LP also kind of caused some health issues in between me and Iron Chitlin. This is gonna sound kind of pathetic, but I know I lost a lot of sleep because of the Darkest Dungeon LP, just because I was always afraid that something would go wrong and then the LP would go longer. So I lost a lot of sleep because of that LP. Iron Chitlin had some medical issues that I won't detail because that kind of ranges into personal territory and I don't want to elaborate on that, but we just had a bunch of other shit happen as well. I also had to deal with some family issues during the LP. It was just a bit of a huge mess that coincided with this, which also made our enthusiasm in the LP kind of wane. So there's that. So yeah, just one of the closing messages. I figure I might as well go into the closing messages here. Make sure if you ever do an LP, don't make it feel like work. If you want to reduce this, like, I honestly have a honest respect now for people that can maintain 2 episodes a week work schedule, because that shit takes a lot of work. Because yeah, you could record a bunch of stuff and you could have, like say 4 or 5 episodes ready, but if you have a 2 episode a week work schedule, you gotta double the crunch time for half of the duration of the LP, and it just, ugh. But yeah, I won't say the LP was entirely bad. I met a lot of new fun people while doing it. Got to you know, got to expand, got to meet people, got to, I don't know what the fuck the word is. I got to make connections, meet a lot of cool guys. I don't know why I'm repeating that 3 times. It wasn't all bad, but there were issues that arose with the LP. Now I do have one other thing I do want to mention. Quad Doug is on the docket for a bonus video. I feel like I should do a Stygian mode, but there's really no need to detail that. I have already done so. But one thing I do want to do, my one last ambition for the LP, is that I want to interview Bourassa, Chris Bourassa. He's the main artist and writer and technically project head for Darkest Dungeon and the up-and-coming DLC Crimson Court, but I would like to interview him. The only issue is, I don't know what I would talk about. I've only ever done one interview in my life, and that was with the creator of Lisa, and even then I felt like my questions were kinda goofy and not, you know, relevant to the task at hand, so I'm gonna have to get some people together, figure out what I should talk about during that interview, and that will probably be the absolute last episode of the LP if I get the interview scheduled. Aside from that, other projects I got going, since this was an 8-month project, I have a boatload of shit in terms of streams and other LPs going. If you haven't noticed, I recently finished uploading the Condemned streams from October of 2016. That was a pretty decent stream. In terms of other streams, the Dungeons and Dragons stream should be finishing within the next week. Wild Arms is going to be a big thing that'll probably replace the either the LP I had going on Wednesday, which was Salt and Sanctuary, or it's going to replace the Friday update schedule for Darkest Dungeon. That'll be a good while to upload. I have like a good 8 weeks of streams to upload for that. That's like that's like the stream for Wild Arms only lasted like 16 days. I've only uploaded 7, so it shouldn't be too long. So you'll have that to look forward to as kind of a side thing. And Odin Sphere is a thing. I highly recommend watching Odin Sphere. I really do, because I love Odin Sphere. Please watch the LP. And finally, I've mentioned it before, but Hollow Knight's definitely gonna be a thing. Look forward to that. Until then, thanks everybody for watching. For those of you that were really mad at the LP, for those of you that enjoyed the LP, bought the game because of this LP, for those of you that want to show me up, do so. Play Darkest Dungeon. Get the game, it's really fun. Only like $20. Get the game, play the game, endure what I did. Show me what for, show me that there is not truly luck to it. Claim your birthright and enter the dark depths of the Darkest Dungeon.